Greetings, I'm Tim Lynch, and this is a cooking show. This is not any cooking show, as in each show I showcase an ingredient that deserves the walk of fame. Today's show we are showcasing the humble blueberry. Did you know that the blueberry is one of the only native North American fruits? So why is that credit so commonly given to the apple, which origins is from Central America? If you ask me, the blueberry is a fine fruit to take its place. The blueberry has many health benefits as it is pumped full of antioxidants and nutrients. Blueberries bushes are grown all across the United States, but they are prevalent in Florida, California, and Michigan. In my opinion, the best come from Michigan. Heck, they host the National Blueberry Festival and dozens more festivals across the state. So let me take you on a journey to see how the blueberries are the most patriotic fruits of this nation. Go to your local grocery store, you'll find fresh blueberries. They're good when they're in season, but if they're not in season, don't worry, go to your freezer section and you can get frozen blueberries. So now that I'm walking away from the store and we're going home, let's see what recipes we can conjure up. So for today, we're going to be using 3 different applications of blueberries. One blueberries we're going to be using pints right from the store that you can get from your local market. The other we're going to be using fresh right from the tree or a farmer's market. And the third one we're going to be using frozen blueberries. Now frozen blueberries are a great substitute when you can't get fresh blueberries, especially in the wintertime. Yes, they have blueberries in the wintertime. They're usually from Chile's, they're not native to the United States, and they're very small and bitter. So you want to save fresh blueberries whenever you can get them in the summer, about July to mid-August or so. So we're also going to be using 3 different applications. We're going to start off with breakfast. I mean, it's the most important meal of the day, right? And then we're going to do a lunch for a snack, and then we're also going to do dinner with blueberries. Dinner for blueberries, you ask? Why yes, blueberries isn't only a sweet dish. It can also be savory, and I'll show you how that is. So why don't you join me, will you? As we're going to go adventure out into the blueberry scene. Well, it is breakfast time for me. It's 9 o'clock, it's well past my breakfast time. And what could I have? Well, you know, we could always do blueberry muffins, but everyone's done that. And you know what I'm in the mood for? Cake. Yeah, cake for breakfast, you say. Well, same things as muffins, right? It still has your eggs, which is your protein, you got your carbs, you got your sugar, you got things that keep you going all day long. So we're going to make a nice blueberry pound cake today. Don't buy the cakes at the store. They look tempting. They're about $6 a piece. I bet you if you make it homemade, you will appreciate the difference. The dry ingredients. Yes, so go ahead and take your favorite digital scale and measure out 15 ounces of flour and put about a teaspoon of baking powder in there. If you are not if you're a volumetric type, you can also just put 3 cups of flour. I'll make it simple. So go ahead and put it in your favorite sifter. I put mine in a fine mesh strainer because why do you need a sifter when this thing works just as well? Plus you can use it for God knows other things. And just like that, a one-hand sift, isn't it beautiful? Now let's start with the wet ingredients. So get your favorite stand mixer, I got mine, and cream together some room temperature butter, exactly 2 sticks, and add to it 3 cups of sugar, or 15 ounces. Now, go ahead and cream this on medium speed for about 5 minutes. Meanwhile, set your oven to 325 degrees. So it's time to apply some eggs into that mixer to get that protein. Maybe it also helps give it a lot of lift. Working things with one hand can be difficult. Now, I always use the custard cups now. There was a aforementioned incident where there was eggshells in my lasagna. Nowadays, I don't skimp out on the extra step. Go ahead and knock your eggs right into that custard cup and make sure there's no shells in it. Don't worry, they'll be worth it. And after you've added your eggs, mix it at low speed for about 25 seconds or so till it's nice and fluffy like this. We're going to add our dry ingredients. I already put it in a bowl. It is already sifted, ready to go. So you might be wondering, how the heck do we put that in there gently? Well, you can do a paper plate, which is the best way to do it. I don't have any paper plates. So I have this stupid thing here that might actually work, so let's give that a shot. Boom. Go ahead, put it on low with one hand because, you know, the other one has to hold the camera because I don't have all that fancy technology yet. Go ahead and carefully try to, kind of put it in there. Oh yeah, that's good. Not a lot's getting on the counter at all. Gotta add some vanilla extract. Now you can measure, but I'm not a measuring guy. I lied, I am, but after vanilla extract. I took blueberries and I put it in a bowl, mix it with a teaspoon, actually a tablespoon of flour, mix it up in there so that way when the blueberries are into the mix as you see here, they will stay suspended and they won't go to the bottom of the dish, which is a good thing. I put a little bit of lemon flavor in there because lemon and blueberries go together like spaghetti and meatballs. So instead of just using the juice, which would throw off a recipe, we're going to use the zest. So we use the zest. I put it in the blueberries before I put it in the bowl, and because you can't throw a lemon that's without its zest back in the fridge with a little bunny over there because he's going to get all cold and frozen, we need to put a new jacket on him, so we're going to wrap it with a little bit of plastic wrap, and he'll be good to join his friend in no time. So let's go ahead and butter and flour this dish so that the cake doesn't stick to the dish. And we will load it in like so. Yep, just like that. And now it's all ready to be baked. We'll go ahead and put it in a 325 degrees oven, as I aforementioned earlier, and bake for 75 minutes until an instant read thermometer, well, or you could just use a toothpick. We all have toothpicks, right? Make sure it comes out clean. Take your toothpick, or better yet a thermometer, and measure it at 225 degrees and make sure it is done in the middle. This toothpick, yeah, as you can see, the toothpick doesn't really work very well. But as you can see, it's very clean. Let's check a couple others. Don't lose my toothpick. Check another couple spots, and oh yeah, it's good to go. Let this thing cool for about 20 minutes. And then what we'll do is flip it over on a board and see what this mold did for us. Butter knife. Okay, so it's now time to unbunt the bunt pan. So take your butter knife and go around the edge, because that's likely going to be the spot where it's going to stick. All that butter and a little bit of flour should have been enough to do this pretty easily. So, go and take your cutting board and carefully take it out. Boom. There you are. There's your pound cake. Now if you would like, we can put a little bit of glaze on here. The glaze would be, of course, lemon juice, powdered sugar, and you'd mix that all up, and then you just drizzle it down the side like so. And that'd be really nice. It would look like this. All this was 4 cups powdered sugar, and 1 lemon juice and zest, and a teaspoon of melted butter, whisked together, poured in a bowl, and just simply poured over the top of that. Breakfast is served. And there is your bun cake. Next, on to snack time. Okay, we're going to be making some bars, blueberry bars. And in this bar recipe, we're going to kind of make a shortbread crust with it, as well as kind of a strudel crumble. Now, shortbread, they expect me to put butter, flour, sugar, egg, and then mix it with 2 forks. Ha! I'm too lazy for that. So we're going to use power. Power. So I already put 3 cups of flour in here. We're also going to put a cup of sugar. And we're going to go ahead and mix that. Add to that with a pinch of salt. Alright. Turn it off so I can talk. Alright, now we're going to slowly put 2 sticks of butter in here, cold please. We're actually going to cut them into little pads like I have here, and only put a couple in at a time. The blades will actually cut it around and get it mixed in properly. So, here we go. All right. When it starts coming up above the bowl like this, go ahead and add your egg. No shells, please. All right, guys, for this application, we're actually going to be using some fresh blueberries, but because fresh blueberries are not as processed, whoops, one went over the counter. Well, that's for the mouse now. You want to make sure there's no twigs and sticks in them, like this here. That's good in your pastry, isn't it? Bing, berry is gone. So you just want to make, and you want to look for any berries that are like bad, like this one looks pretty nasty. And just kind of filter through them, just like that. So especially make sure, here's a closer up view, these kinds of sticks, like this. Pull them off, put them on the side, just kind of filter through your berries. All right, time to prepare those blueberries. So let's put a half a cup of sugar in that bowl there, and then we're also going to put 2 teaspoons. Where's my teaspoons? Teaspoons of cornstarch. You know what? You better make it 4. This will keep the blueberries suspended, just like the last recipe that we used. Perfect. And now we're going to also remember that lemon that we de-zested earlier? Well, we're going to actually use the juice this time. And there's some zest still on there, so why don't we go ahead and use up the rest of that, because that's all flavor that could be going in to this dish. Cut it up, juice it. No seeds, please. All right, there's the juiced lemons. Now go ahead and put your blueberries in them. And mix with your hands, they're good enough for this. There we go. So this will be, so you're gonna put this on top of the base that we're gonna be making, and then you're gonna use the half of that base and top the blueberries with it. All right, it is time to assemble the bars. All right, it is now time to put half of this onto the pan, and the rest of it's going to be for a crumbly strudel topping. So go ahead and add about half of that here. That's about it. A little more, actually a little more than that. You're just going to have to kind of do an eye for it. So then go ahead and push it against the sides like so until it makes it into a crust. Use your knuckles to really get in there to make sure it's nice and even. Like so. Now, go ahead and add your blueberry mixture to it. Now, go ahead and use the rest of this and just crumble it on the top like so. All right, it's ready now to go into a 350-degree oven. And serve it like so. And there you have it. Blueberry bars. Hello. Now that we've explored blueberries' more common traits, the sweets, we should turn our attention to the savory applications of the blueberries. I mean, most people have been putting blueberries in pies, cakes, and puddings and breads as long as I can remember. But not many recipes I've seen are using blueberries for their daily meals. I mean, yes, you can put blueberries in a salad, but you can put almost any kind of fruit in a salad and make it good. Fruits go very well with salads. No, we need to find a dish that's going to show the finer qualities of the blueberries. I got it. It's wing night. And the blueberries are going to shine here. The wings are going to be nice and blue, but spicy, but sweet, but a little tart. It's just going to be a culinary sensation. Let's put it together. Set your oven to 500 degrees. If your oven's not clean, it will smoke. We start off with half a cup of flour, a fourth a cup of cornstarch, 3 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. That will be the base for our chicken wings. Let's go ahead and butcher up those chicken wings now. All right, you're wondering, how are we going to make the chicken legs? Are we going to get the ones from the grocery store that's in a frozen bag? No, we're not going to get the glazed ones. We're going to actually get real chicken legs. How do we make them into wings and drummies? I'll show you. So you take your very sharp chef knife. You have 3 parts. You got the useless part here, which is the tip of the wing. You got your wing, and you got, as a lot of people call them, chicken legs, which these are actually the drummies that you speak of. So let's get rid of this nasty, or not nasty, but really useless part first. There's a tenon here. You can feel it as you are moving that. You know exactly where that tenon is. You're going to go through at the top of it, take your knife, and start cutting through it. Get a better grip here. And then once you find you're already there, cut through, and you're good. Take this part here. Now you're going to go from the underside. You're going to cut right through. Try to keep the knife and everything on the table, actually. And just easily cut right through that tendon. And there you have it. Drummy chicken leg. Put it right in the flour surface and continue with the rest of them. So this one's a bigger one. So go ahead and cut right through that tendon. And let's cut through this thing too. Gently. Boom. 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 And toss the wings with the flour, pepper, cornstarch, and garlic powder mixture. You can make sure they're coated well. And then we are going to set them on a pan and put them in the oven. Now, go ahead and dust the excess off. Put the wings just like so. You don't want extra stuff because that stuff could, you don't want the extra flour because that stuff could definitely burn. And with a 500-degree oven, you don't want that. I'm going to trim this guy a little bit more. But just go ahead and place them on a lightly, I forgot to mention, lightly greased baking sheet so that they don't stick. They shouldn't really stick anyways, so if you forget this step, you might be forgiven because the sheet, or chicken legs, are full of grease. And it doesn't look like I'm going to have enough that's going to fit here. I could have. Any excess can actually put in a zip top bag and put in your freezer because this sauce will make more than one batch of sauce for your chicken wings. So anytime you're in the mood for some wings, just take them out of your freezer. All right, now that the pan is nice and hot, we are going to add our shallots. And of course, a huge flavor compound shallots is kind of like a garlic and onions mix. But, you know, not really. But it's definitely more onion than garlic, but it definitely does add a very good flavor. Next, we're going to add garlic and ginger. I like to freeze my ginger so that it's readily available like cheese, and I can just grate it in. It's much better than doing powdered ginger, which has its own flavor compounds that don't taste the same. A little bit more. Perfect. Now let's take our thing. Mix it through. Smell it. Next, we're going to add all the other sauce components, which I will list them on the screen one by one. Now, we're going to add 3 cups of frozen blueberries. Now, there's ice particles in here, and this is really hot, so be careful. Like so. Now, we're going to add all the other ingredients that I listed before. This nice sauce pan. Turn the heat up a little bit to medium-high. Lighter mixture. There. This has maple syrup, Worcestershire sauce, garlic, minced ginger, the blueberries are in there, the molasses are in there, apple cider vinegar, ketchup, Dijon mustard, and the spices include chili powder, cumin, paprika, allspice, nutmeg, and cinnamon. And that's not all. We still have one other ingredient to add, which is going to be the chipotle, the canned chipotle in adobo sauce. We're going to chop that up and add that in here at the end. As you can see, the chicken wings are ready to come out. Oh yeah, this pan is super hot. Be careful. And once the sauce is done, we're going to put that in a bowl and mix it up. Alright, we're going to put it on low now that it's boiling, and we're going to put our favorite cover, simmer it for 10. Okay, it's time to blend and finish making the sauce. We have all the ingredients in the pan. The pan is cooled down for about 12 minutes now. It's in that time and it's allowed it to thicken. And the only thing we have left to do is to blend one of these chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. And if you're wondering what that is, well, it's pretty much a smoked jalapeno that's canned in a bunch of spices and tomato sauce. So if you want a lot of spice, add a couple of these. If you don't want hardly any spice, I would probably just add some of the sauce. So with that too, I'm going to add some sauce here. And I'm going to add one. Boom, there's one. And now we're going to go ahead and put the liquid into the blender. Let's see if this blender will fly. And check for doneness. That's looking pretty good. There it is. Next, let's add them onto the wings. All right, so there's our crispy chicken wings that are battered in that light coating, and it definitely smells very chickeny. This blender of mine has a nice pour spout, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to pour all of it on though. I'm only going to pour a bit on, just enough to coat the wings, something like that. And then you just coat it, just like you would. They do. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Simply place your blueberry wings on a plate next to some fresh cut cucumbers, or as my mom would always grow, kohlrabi. What's kohlrabi? Well, that's another show. Well, I hope I've inspired you to cook with America's #1 berry, the blueberry. I'm Tim Lynch. Until next time.